Well, I think if folks like what I would consider traditional American values, they're going to really like this book because it gets back to a constitutional view of our government in the sense that wanted to protect our freedoms. So you'll hear freedom talked about throughout the book. There's a whole chapter on protecting our freedom of speech, which is absolutely so vital to our functioning as people and as a republic. Traditional values that you'll find in a community, in our small towns. There's a chapter on small town values. And the small town values even transcend, I think, some of the constitutional values, where it's, I introduced this concept in the book called modern patriotism. And modern patriotism has three elements to it. One element is about believing, a second element is about achieving, and a third is about sharing. And essentially that first one, believing, is believing in traditional American values. It's also believing in ourselves, believing in our full potential. And it transcends into achieving. So if you have these basic beliefs, freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, all of our Bill of Rights freedoms, and you have a spiritual element to it. One of the things that is incumbent upon you, I believe, is to achieve. And achieving is really important. It's an opportunity to take your God-given talents to their full potential. But it's also a responsibility. There is nothing as satisfying as what we call earned success. In other words, doing a job, doing it well, being engaged, making a difference. And one of the greatest services a person can provide is to make sure they are fulfilling their own full potential and having that moment, that gratification of earned success. Because if they can take themselves to the highest heights, then they'll be in a position for doing really the third thing, which is the sharing. Now that you're in this position where you can really help other people, there is an obligation to help. I think there's also just a responsibility and a joy in helping. But the book talks about not only helping in the sense of giving out material goods and support to other people, but also, I think even more importantly, giving other people the opportunity to succeed, giving them the support, the opportunity to have this, enjoy their own fulfillment through what we call this earned success.
A lot of people would call it mentorship nowadays, to be able to help somebody who needs some help and say, here's some guidance. Foster their career if they're local to your particular career or as a friend. So is it really just mentorship, or does it go beyond that?
Well, mentorship it certainly is mentorship. And mentorship has sort of a little bit of the implication that it's one-on-one when you kind of use the term. But there's also sharing that you can do in a wider sense. Some of the work that we're doing and some of the in the companies I'm involved in, we're actually helping give back by helping local populations, for instance, in Africa, and some of their farming practices. Same thing in South America, giving them the ability to be self-sustaining and to be able to have an economy where they can give back to their own kids rather than being dependent upon outside help.
Part of what I consider to be traditional values also has the sense of accountability. Is that something that you talk about in the book?
Oh, absolutely. I think the individual responsibility, individual accountability, I think in some of our mainstream media and mainstream conversation, you begin to see some of that edging away from us over the last, I don't know how many years. But there's when you think about earned success, if you get that mentality of can-do, positive, I'm going to go out and earn my success, the idea of personal responsibility and accountability it's integral to that basic notion.
Well, I know that time has gone longer than I thought, and I appreciate the time that you've spent with here. I know that you're a very busy person. So what I'd like to do is to ask if I can do a little more homework, or if you decide that there's, darn, I didn't talk about everything that I should have. Could we do another interview?
I'd be absolutely delighted.
And
And one thing, when we get together again, one of the things that I'd love to talk about is what I'm doing in my own hometown of Newport, here in New Hampshire, where it's a town of about 5,000 people that is, like so many other small towns around our state and around our country, had a robust economy and a bustling main street 20 and 30 and 40 years ago. And over a long period of time, it sort of declined economically. And you go back there now, and it's not quite the same place. So beginning about 6 months ago, we initiated an initiative to revitalize and change Newport. And we've got that ongoing, and it's really exciting. And when I come back, I'd love to talk to you about that.
well, one of the things Granite Rock is looking to do to get to the next level is to put on our own series of forums. I think I may have just found my first forum point, which is to talk about Newport and other towns and what other activities are going on. If we were to pull such a thing off, would you be willing to participate?
I'd love to invite you actually to Newport, because what we have going on there, we started with 12 people, we got to 30, we now got 75 people, and I'll just give you the name as kind of a teaser here of what we're doing. Newport, by the way, has the nickname, is called the Sunshine Town, because a vaudeville...
The book!
A book, American Sunshine. Back in the 1930s, a performer came to Newport, and he just looked out at the audience and he said, Newport is the Sunshine Town, and it stuck. And so we're still the Sunshine Town, and so what we called our project, our revitalization, it's called the Newport Sunshine Initiative. And it's really gaining traction. It's exciting. It's more rewarding. I've never done anything as rewarding as this in anything I've ever done.
But we're going to have to find out more details on that. So I guess the last thing I have to say is not yet another question, but to say thank you very much for spending quite some time at Granite Rock.
But thank you very much. It's a real pleasure.
Very good. Thank you. And again, the name of the book is?
It's American Sunshine.
And if they want to find out more about it, other than going to Amazon, which we will put up a link to on Granite Rock, but is there a website?
There is a website. Simply go to American Sunshine, or go to my name, Jay Lucas, LUCAS, .us.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, good. I hope we covered everything that you were hoping for.
Croc TV.